All right, now. Good afternoon once more. So today we're just doing a recap. These concepts that are in today's class, are mathematical concepts. I'm sure you've seen them. Why? Because we explained that to get the instantaneous velocity, you must differentiate the position function or the displacement function, then you'll get the instantaneous velocity. But then the same thing also happens if you want to get the instantaneous acceleration. The instantaneous acceleration is the same thing, see, acceleration at a specific point or at a particular instant of time. To get instantaneous acceleration, you differentiate velocity function. So v inst is dx dt, a inst is dv dt. Then I came to the rules. These rules are mathematical rules. So if you have a constant, that's the rule number 1. If you have a constant, say 10, 1, 5,000, 10 million, as long as it doesn't have a variable t for our learning. In almost all the mathematics, the variable is x. Remember that x is the independent variable in maths. But for physics, we use t. So that's why I changed some of the formulas to t. But I've kept some to x because I didn't have time. I was rushing to this Zoom meeting. So if you have a constant, if someone says, what's the derivative? What is dx dt or dy dx of, say, 10 or 1,000? As long as that does not have a variable, it's just 1,000. There's no t or there's no x. Then the derivative there is 0. Then for the polynomial, which is the most general for us, is this one. If you have t to the power n, it's the n comes in front, then t to the power n minus 1. Always. So you must get used to this one, guys, because it's the one that we use almost always. Because someone was asking me to say, do we have to master everything? Yes, we must have ideas about everything because we're also doing math and all. We don't know where you'll be working in the future. But this one is a must know. T to the power n, then you get n, t to the power n minus 1. Yeah? Hello. Okay. You have greeted them. Good.
Yes, friend.
So now, if you have constants, these are the other ones. If there's a constant, a number in front, then that number will just be multiplied by the derivative of the polynomial. So that is the case. Someone has asked what is the kinematics. I answered. Kinematics is mechanics, where you don't look at the causes. Okay. Where you don't look at the causes, you don't relate to force. So that's kinematics. The branch of mechanics where you don't look at force, you don't relate to force. Instantaneous, at a particular instant. Then someone was asking, should you know the rules? Avoid the answer.
Sir.
Yes? Yes, guys.
You said kinematics, we don't look at the cause of
the motion.
Of a motion.
Meaning, kinematics is that physics where you said a car starts from rest and accelerates uniformly.
Because under kinematics, yes.
A car starts from rest and accelerates
so
uniformly.
It deals with motions, but we don't look at the forces that will cause the motion.
Yes, you don't relate to force. When you relate to force, that's dynamics. In dynamics, you say force equals ma. You remember that equation? Huh? In dynamics, you say
Yes,
F equals ma. And then you also validate that this thing is moving at a constant speed because the forces are balanced. So that kind where you analyze friction and all, that's dynamics. Where you look at friction, applied force, the normal force, all those forces that are related to motion, then that's dynamics. But for kinematics, you're only looking at a starting of motion, acceleration, constant speed, all those. You don't talk about force at all. But then when we just introduce friction and Newton laws, then that's the difference. So then the other examples were, if you're adding, you differentiate each variable. If you're adding or subtracting, you differentiate each variable independently. That's why you've seen, like we've said, df dt, if f is h as a function of time plus or minus g as a function of time, then you get dh dt plus or minus dg dt. These are simple. It means when you have 7 plus 8t, you differentiate the 7 alone, you get 0. The 8t, you also differentiate it, you get 8. So those are the things. Then there's this one, which is called the product rule. If you're multiplying, someone was asking me, how do you know that here you use the product rule? You just see the brackets that these things are multiplying. When you just say 7 plus Shanuko is in brackets, then there are also other brackets afterwards, then you will know that these two functions are multiplying. Then you apply the product rule. So you get u times the derivative of v plus v times the derivative of u. That's all. The toughest I think you encounter is the quotient rule. U as function of time, v as function of time. This is a formula. You will say v times du dt minus u times dv dt, all of this over v squared. So that is the case. Most beautiful, which is always there in physics because we have functions like sine functions, cos functions. So this one, it's a must know. It's called the chain rule. If x is a function of u and u is a function of x, then dx dt is dx du times du dt. In fact, so that's the way it is. You've seen that the du's are almost cancelling. Then the last point is that if x is equal to in t, in fact in Dembele-Ling, it's in ln, in t, the natural log, it's on your calculator, then dx dt is 1 over t. So you will make a correction for me. There it should be in t, not ln t. So those are the things. Some guys were asking questions, I was trying to answer there. So the examples, the derivative of if x equals t to the power 4, t is our n, not so? Then the 4 will come in front. You write 4, then t to the power 4 minus 1. So dx dt is actually 4t to the power 3. That's all. It's not wrong. You can write dx dt is equal to 4t to the power 3 because who asked for working if working means writing 4 minus 1? Because 4 minus 1 you can do kumutu. So that's the way it is. If you're differentiating 3t squared, the 2, as we said, will come in front and multiply the 3. So it will be 3 times 2, t to the power is always subtracted by 1. So to the power 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. And so you just write as t. So the answer is 6t. Guys, are there any questions? But if sure. Guys, imwe. Hii ni shibukeni inafondemo ende mnapokuwa ni shibukeni fia yourself. Such that people will claim, oh, no, we paid a lot of money. 1,000 teachers. That's why you are paid. So those are things. So 3t squared minus 7, I said you separate them. If there was plus 8 plus 2, the 8 could have been a 0. The 8 could have been a 0 because I haven't put any function there. So now, when you subtract this, when you differentiate this one, you differentiate this one alone, it will be 2 times 3, 6, t to the power 2 minus 1. Then you remain with, you have 6t. Then when you differentiate the 7, 7t to the power 1, I'm sure you know that 1 minus 1 is 0. And any number to the power 0 is 1. So a number that just have t to the power 1, when you differentiate it, it just becomes that number. That's why 7 is just 7 there. So the answer, the df dt, the derivative of this function is 6t minus 7. As you remember, the 2 came in front as a coefficient multiplied with a 3 and became 6 to the power, t to the power 2, you subtracted 1. So that is the reasoning. So it's always like that, guys. Then now this, my friend, how do you know what happened? Product rule. This is product rule. Why? Because it's brackets. There's no denominator. If there was a denominator, then it was going to be quotient. So for product rule, you can expand this, because expanding this is very easy. It just simply means multiplying this times all of this plus this times all of this. You find the answer, then you differentiate the polynomials. But then the product rule is there so to make it simple. You don't struggle with all the multiplication of brackets. So u is 6x squared plus 2x. I told you that I ran out of time. So then v is x to the power 3 plus 1. So du dx will be 2 times 6, 12, x plus 2. This one is to the power 1, so it just becomes plus 2. Then dv dx will become just this one, 3 comes in front, x to the power 3 minus 1, which is 2. So that's why there's 3x squared. Whereas the one gone, when you differentiate a coefficient, the answer, or when you differentiate a constant, the derivative is 1. Then you apply the chain rule. So you get the u, which is 6x to the power 3 plus 2x, then times, you close the brackets, times 3x squared, plus the other one, the v, you say x squared plus 1, 12x plus 2. Apa pene, guys, tiwashira omuline ati wapwisha. Tiwashira kaini physics tiwamba nokusta substitute. Tiwamba nokusta substitute. Apa pene effect tiwamba nokubika mu value nga pali value ya kubika. You are very accurate to kupelesha apa pene shina uchaya. Ama mathematicians, they're the ones who should go as far as kwamba ukuyusula bracket yonse, unless otherwise, unless you want to enjoy it. So that's the case. The same rule for quotient rule, you apply the formula. This is quotient rule. This is how you know it's quotient rule. Why there's a what over, which is division when you're dividing these. Then you differentiate them. And this one is very simple. If you've seen, this one becomes 2x. Here, look at 2x. Here, look at 3. Then you do this. You apply them. You apply the formula. The last one, which I told you as chain rule.
You're too fast.
I'm too fast. Because I formula point Ivan and Basra.
Yes, sir.
Davis.
Huh?
The formula is there. Innocent Chile. You're the one protesting. Innocent, are you the one protesting?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Oh, it's Davis?
It's me, Davis, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Davis.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
Mr. Davis. Oh, sorry, Apostle. Let me explain.
Right, I'm trying to follow.
The rule is
Yes,
there.
sir. Maybe
Listen, example 5 is x squared plus 7 over 3x minus 1. Have you seen it? Then the rule is the quotient rule. It is a quotient rule. Put more rules. Quotient rule. It's here. The quotient rule. Yep. Quotient rule. If u over t and v over t, then df dt is v times du dt minus u times dv dt, all of this over v squared. So ili pamulwi, you differentiate it. Ili panchi, you differentiate it. Then you get this one, you keep it, times the derivative of the one on top, minus the one on top now, times the derivative of the one at the bottom. Then all of this, the one at the bottom squared. So these are the rules I am applying. That's why what level to custom. Sangati nishibuken mama munjere go guys. Nasangati nishibuken to the otherwise that is even when I was explaining, I said quotient rule ilabako a bit involving a. So this is your v, the u is on top, your v is here. Charlton. Charlton. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you go further to find the second derivative?
The
Since
second
what we are
derivative.
finding is the first derivative.
Yes, you can go further
Yes.
because sometimes like if you are given position, isn't it? If you are given position, if you want to get
Yes.
acceleration, you have to differentiate twice. So it's possible to differentiate twice. So now the promise I'm making to you is that despite the only thing we'll do is polynomial plus chain rule. The last chain rule. Polynomial and chain rule. Those are the ones that we'll encounter the most. Tatuakachaepo quotient rule. Nga nebo nkapekanya. Nomboka instance ya COVID tashishi bikweshi. Tumasa mbavata no. Aba nenu bapekanya ko then man bapekanya. So that's the reason why when you're preparing people, you should prepare them adequately. So that even when you're not there, they can solve some things or they can understand some things. Not by no bakandro tabatu eberefi. Those students, the way your nature as students, even things that I've taught you, if someone else has some and you know at kuchami type test, before mukesa akana bonse kwati nagani muri united tapadi nangu mu Christian washa nangu papa nsapato ya white bonse mukesa lando kuchira bakando tabatu ebe. So those are things. So now I was explaining that this is the only one you have to master the most. Y equals open brackets x squared minus 5 close brackets to power 4. Then you let u be what is in the brackets. Let u be x squared minus 5 so that y is u to the power 4. Then dy du will be 4u to the power 3. Then du dx will simply be equal to 2x. Then when you are getting dy dx, you say dy du, which is this one, equal to 4u to the power 3, times 2x, which is du dx. You can now substitute back the u because the u you said was x squared minus 5. So that's the reasoning. So when you see, it will be 2x times 4. So you're about 8x, open brackets, x to the power 3 minus 5, close brackets, all of this to the power 3. So that's the reasoning. I want to give you time to have any instantiations, guys. Anyone that has something to instantiate or any instantiations, any questions, any subtractions, all of
Now,
them.
Sammy, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question, sir.
Yes, you can ask.
Concerning these, I've been following the regular classes of which we haven't reached this far. So I'm failing to understand. I came to understand today. Say, I'm actually in this extension class. So what should I do? Advise. Should I continue following the topics you've been teaching under regular classes?
No, what much back up boss him. If your timetable is somewhere else, follow where your timetable is, because actually our finding of results are. Because you're learning the same things with the extensions, not so. Have you seen the videos on YouTube?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen the videos on YouTube? Whatever I teach you, in fact, when our extension must be an win. Because you're going to any job on training. When I'm going to isanishi,
Yeah, it is.
I'm sure you've noticed.
Yeah, I did, sir.
Yes. So when if you they will learn on Thursday. If you come for Thursday, they will learn on Saturday. So for them,
Yeah, yeah, did, sir.
I'll correct. Whatever, but the learning is the same. Someone was asking a question. Voice here, who was asking the question?
Sir, repeat on the chain rule.
Chain rule. Chain rule, mommy, is
Yes.
where you're differentiating something like chain rule. Y equals x squared minus 5 close bracket to the power 4. Instead of expand, you could multiply 4, they multiply, which is possible. It's time consuming. So the chain rule is such that what is in the brackets there, you let it be u. So u equals x squared minus 5. Then when you do that, you say du dx equals, so du dx, nangamamone 2, yarasa pantanshi, x to the power 2 minus 1. So it will just be 2x. Then y is u to the power 4, because everything in there, you let it be u. Then you find also dy du, which is 4u to the power 3. Why? Because the 4 comes in front, then you subtract 1 to the 4 there, which is the power. You have 4u to the power 3. Then you multiply these two to get a dy dx. You say dy dx is equal to dy du times du dx. So for physics, upper the x, upper the y, you'll be putting x. Then while there's x, you'll be putting t for this mechanics. I'm sure you know. But there are so many places where we do this calculus. So when you multiply now, what is dy du times du dx? So dy du ni 4u to the power 3. That's what you found. Times the 2x which you found the other side. A answer no. Then afterwards, you substitute back the u. Which is x squared minus 5. That's the reason why after this point, we put back the u. Then the answer became 8x, open brackets, x squared minus 5. Yes?
Sir, at let u equals to x squared minus 5.
Yes.
And that therefore y is equals to u to the power 4. I'm a bit confused there.
It's not confusing. You let what is in the brackets, x squared minus 5 be u. Why, man? This sum is like someone now promise at it. Now promise at it. I'll come and see you. For you to see them, go for my pants. So even this one, the thing inside here, you move it out and deal with it first of all alone. So you let u be x squared minus 5. Then you find the derivative of that.
Then, sir.
Du dx will be 2x.
Then
Then y is u to the power 4. Huh? Marus, my wife.
Question as
on the du dx there.
Yes.
That is saying, Kairi.
Mm.
I have
And
a
then they
question
use
as
the X there.
Yes.
It goes to 2x.
Yes.
So Manje, why are you leaving the 5?
5 is a constant,
Yes.
man, by
Even
body.
me, that's the question I want.
Okay, you have seen.
Constants become 0 when you differentiate them.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
wait.
Oh, I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, innocent.
I have a, yeah. You said differentiating what? Y is equal to open bracket x squared minus 5 close bracket to the power 4. Then
Yes.
you said let u is equal to what? X squared minus 5. Then where
Yes.
have you taken the 4, which is the power now?
No, the only thing you let to BU is what is in the brackets. The 4 will go
Yeah.
with the y. The 4 will go as y equals u to the power 4.
Okay.
The only thing you let to BU is what is inside the brackets.
Sure, sir.
Guys, the more minimum, the much I the calculus based target of
Calculus.
in your syllabus.
Yeah, we did,
Did.
sir.
Oh God, just.
Some of us were just taking physical mathematics, but not additional mathematics. Additional
I know
mathematics.
this time around in
Calculus is there.
In
Even
that has been added in
mathematics,
syllabus D.
not even
yeah, it's there.
As we left schools in 2010, some high school. Got it.
Even 20.
Oh, you finished Mukale. Yeah, irakosa. But we'll find. There are 2 hands. Doris.
They were just the basics. Syllabus D in basic.
Okay, now for. Muliba Academy. So nasema what in Baba 2016. Doris. Doris, you have the question. Guys, switch off your mics. Innocent and Chose. Doris has a question.
Sir,
Yes.
if it's like people have their mics on and disturbing the network here, we can't even hear anything.
Now, Mumba, guys, Innocent, switch off your mic.
Okay, sir.
All right. Any other question? Kunda, you have switched off on the mic, but you are under switch off the mics. Kunda Kalumba. Gordon, there's a question?
Not sure.
Mushari Deguiza.
I just entered like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, then you go and check the video there on WhatsApp or on YouTube.
So what's happening, sir, is that on differentiating the same equation given, according to my observation, what you're doing is that the power raised to the binomial inside, you're differentiating it by 1, then the power, you're dropping it in front of that variable in order to find y, something like that, in order to find 2. Then the binomial ones, you're differentiating the first value, which becomes the 2x, then you put it outside the brackets.
Yes.
Okay, I've seen it.
Okay. Muninet Songo, guys, the binomial one.
I've understood as well. I've understood.
Okay, Innocent, switch
It's
off.
really amazing.
So that's the thing. Any other question, guys? I want someone to explain, to simplify for their friends. Let's make the classes that's participatory. Please. Doris, you want to ask another question?
Sure, sir.
Doris, do you have a question? Innocent, your mic is still on.
No, sir, I understood.
You've understood?
I've switched.
Yes, I've understood most of the things.
Yeah. That hand is for Doris, who has made me feel very proud that what I've taught, she has understood. Any other questions, guys? So, lastly, before I make mwichula sana, chifukwa mule chula iyo ngamwaya. The most important for you to differentiate, as I've told you, is the polynomial. It is the polynomial. This one and this one, these two polynomials. Where only, like our friend was explaining, the power becomes a coefficient. And then this very power, you subtract it by 1. So if you have x equals t to the power 4, the 4 comes in front, t to the power 4 minus 1. That's all. Then if you have like x equals 3t squared, the 2 comes in front, then you have a 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Then t to the power 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So the answer is simply 6t. If you have a constant, like people get lost with a constant, if you say u is equal to x squared minus 5, the 5 disappears always. If there is no x or there is no t, the derivative of the constant, something which is alone, it is alone, it's not a coefficient of any variable. The coefficient there, this one doesn't have a coefficient. The constant, the derivative of the constant is always 0. So that's the way it is. So you have to work them out like that. Most importantly is that you will be given functions like this, where there are so many of them, you're adding some, you're subtracting some. So you must be able to differentiate them individually. Then if there's just a 7, like a Parife 7 here, 7t, if the t is to the power 1, when you differentiate it, it just becomes 7. So that's the reason why if you have 3t squared, the 2 comes in front, it becomes 6t. But when this you're differentiating the 7t, it simply becomes 7. So the derivative is 6t minus 7. These are rules. That's why nashaka nanama questions are like mwira mpera magokutila. Sir, I don't understand what you teine yo. So fishing cooperative muka buku aka calculus. There's pure and applied mathematics. I saw it shared in a group. Was it your group or the extension group where books were shared?
I think it's by extension, not in our groups.
Okay, those ones, they share the knowledge by extension. So Vasatuma, Muriama books. One of the books is pure and applied mathematics. You only read the introductory calculus there for polynomials, and you'll be safe. That's how it is. So guys, next, when we meet, we'll look at, that's on Thursday, we'll look at motion with constant acceleration. That's the one that we'll be doing the most because it's simple. So those of you who love to read ahead, please go and look up motion with constant acceleration. Don't worry, don't feel like you haven't understood anything. You have. In your spirit, nothing, but mubika fiama people, then you see. Okay? Enjoy your day, guys. Have a lovely day as we watch Salzburg versus Liverpool, friendly. Chose Moimiale Tukuboko in Stanaib. You ask me.
No, sir, it's not even a question. The thing is, I didn't see the solution to the previous examples you sent, because the ones you sent were blank.
Oh, but you had bastard master. Check them. All right, guys. See you.
You sent
Bastard master. Papen pa group fe. All these things are there.